Knowing how addiction hijacks your brain and the immense dangers of other street drugs, it makes good sense to stay away from these substances altogether. This means we need to learn how to build healthy brain habits and coping skills to deal with stress, so we don't feel the need to escape our feelings and emotions using any substances in the first place. It first starts with understanding where your emotions come from. To do this, you need to learn a few really cool things about your brain and how it is changing at this very moment. To begin, there are a few key structures or regions in the brain that you should definitely make friends with: your amygdala and your prefrontal cortex. The amygdala is one of two almond-shaped structures found within the emotional center of your brain called the limbic system. The amygdala's function is to keep you safe. If your amygdala senses danger, it begins the stress response of fight, flight, or freeze. It's just trying to keep you from being eaten by a wild animal. The prefrontal cortex is the area of your brain right behind your forehead. The prefrontal cortex is responsible for things like planning, decision-making, or impulse control. Let's put that in perspective. Planning would be like studying for a test a few days before. Decision-making would be what you need while you're taking the test. And impulse control is avoiding talking to your friends during that test. Your prefrontal cortex is commonly referred to as your higher brain and does not completely come online until you're roughly 25 years old. How do your prefrontal cortex and amygdala partner? Well, if your amygdala thinks you're in some form of danger, your prefrontal cortex can actually assess the situation to see if the threat is real. For example, if a wild animal is really chasing you, then you are in danger. Your amygdala should turn on your stress response system because you need to run. But let's say you're in an exam and you cannot remember the answer to a question. You're not in real danger, but you're stressed out. You're stressed you're not going to perform well in that exam. This is the perfect example of a time when you need to use your higher brain to calm your amygdala down. But sometimes that is easier said than done during adolescence because your prefrontal cortex, your place of reasoning, is not completely online yet. And this is why emotions might be more difficult to control at your age, because the one place that can help you make sense of how you feel the most, the prefrontal cortex, or your higher brain, is still fine-tuning itself. But there are solutions. When you feel stress or anxiety in a situation that does not pose a threat to your safety or health, do your best to take a deep breath in and exhale, and have that exhale be longer than your inhale. During this time, tell your amygdala to chill out. And during those deep breaths, look around for things that look familiar to you. Try to ground yourself. Tell your amygdala, I am safe. I'm not in danger. The more you do this, the more you are training your brain to handle stress in a healthy way by taking advantage of neuroplasticity.